Howdy, funky people! Welcome to Carfunkle. You can call me Carby or Carb. I'm a Carbuncle and I make mythology videos. This one is another one in a long line in my Greek deities Iceberg series. The order isn't super important. You're probably just here for the stories, but the more entertaining ones are at the beginning, so maybe make sure to check them out after this video. On the end card, there's a playlist. But if you're enjoying this, you might also enjoy my Hades 2 series even more. I go into way more detail in those videos since I don't have to name off 20 other gods. I can focus on just the one and give you the full, picture. Layer 13. I stopped naming these layers. Daphne. Not the one from Scooby-Doo. This one's a naiad, a kind of water nymph specializing in small bodies of water. Another story about a girl getting chased by a god she doesn't like, and another god turning her into a plant. Daphne was turned into a laurel. Ah la la. I'm not singing, that's the next one. It's the personification of war cries. Apathy. Female personification of the night. Apathy's only myth is the one that she appeared in, another affair of Zeus's. Zeus slept with her. Hera found out. Hera asked Apathy for help to punish Zeus, so Apathy gave her a magic girdle that Hera used to trick Semele into tricking Zeus into seeing his true form. Mortals can't handle seeing a god's true form, so she just perished. Dolus. Male god of trickery, a master of deception and treachery. Despite being a god of trickery, there's actually not that much info here. In other mythologies, like Norse mythology and stuff like that, they tend to have a lot more information for these gods of trickery. That is not the case with Dolus. Dolus is kind of just forgotten about. Kakia, goddess of vice and bad morality. She's depicted as vain, chubby, wears lots of makeup, and dresses scantily. Sounds like my kind of girl. She mostly tried to tempt people into becoming evil, but was best known for tempting Heracles. She offered him a nice and easy life where there would be no need for work, and her counterpart, Arete, offered him a life of glory, but it would require work. Heracles asked Kakia her name, and she said, "My friends call me Happiness, but those who hate me, I am called Kakia." It was then that Heracles knew who he was dealing with and turned her down. Letha. Spirit of forgetfulness and oblivion, also a river in Hades. Orsis. Primordial sea god son of Pontus and Gaia. He was a merman with crab claw legs and red spiky skin. He was also the father to a few monsters like the Gorgon, including Uriel and Medusa. Alka. Spirit and personification of courage and battle strength. Hyasmenai. Personification of fighting and daughter of Ether and Gaia. Alasioi. Minor personification that had the power to prevent epilepsy. It was said they were able to do this by transferring the ailment into nearby goats. Deipneus. Demigod in charge of food prep, mostly just bread. Apiales. Personification and spirit of nightmares. Comus. Another god of festivity, with a minor in revels and nocturnal dalliances. I wonder what a major in nocturnal dalliances requires. Son of Dionysus and a cupbearer, he was depicted as a winged child or a child satyr. Basically, a little baby goat feller, except he was portrayed as permanently drunk. During his festivals, men and women would trade clothing, but don't confuse him with Dionysus, the god of getting drunk and partying, or Pan, the goat shagger. Comus was mostly about living in excess. Galos. Personification of laughter. Olathros. Personification of havoc and potentially one of the Makai. Hey, a new word this far down on the berg. What's a Makai? Well, they're demonic spirits of battle. We've actually covered a few of them before. All of them were children of Eris, the goddess of discord and strife. They were hardship, forgetfulness, starvation, pains, battle, wars, murder, manslaughter, quarrels, lies, stories, disputes, anarchy, ruin, and oath. The Greek names respectively being Ponos, Lethe, Lemos, Algi, Hyasmenai, Makai, Phonoi, Androctasai, Neakeia, Suideia, Logoi, Amphilogiai, Dysnomia, Ate, and Horkos. That wasn't all of them though, as there was still Homados, which was battle noise, Alala, war cry, we just covered that one, Proeoxys, onrush, Talioxys, backrush, and Kai Doemos, confusion. Just what we needed. We finished the 9 muses, 3 Carites, the young Carites, a billion nymphs, and now a god for every sound effect of war. Where are the fart gods, since we're just doing sound effects now? Pepromene. Goddess of fate, she's the original fate before they threw her out for the idea of the 3 fates. Sangarius. River god, son of Oceanus, blah blah blah. Telesphorus. Minor child god of healing. Might have been the son of Asclepius. He was depicted as a dwarf in a cap. He represents recovery, and his name means bringer of completion. That sounds like innuendo. Nomos, demon of laws, statutes, and ordinance, and his daughter was Daiki. Oxalis, demon of the mountain beach forest responsible for the birth of the dryads. They're nymphs who were bound to a tree and are ladies made of wood. If you played Skyrim, you probably fought one. Hecaterus, minor god and godfather of the Oreads, satyrs, and Curites. Basically, mountain nymphs, the funny goat men, and crested dancers. But no pick, so I have no idea what a crested dancer is. Kaikias, another lesser Anemoy or wind god. This one is in charge of the northeast wind associated with hail. Aresione, personification of the laurel, an olive branch wreath covered in wool, fruit, cakes, and olive flasks. These are typically given to Apollo in a festival. They're presented by young boys who had 2 living parents. They then sang a jaunty tune to Aresione. Aresione for us brings us figs and bread of the richest, brings us honey in pots and oil to rub off from the body. Strong wine too, in a beaker, that one may go to bed mellow. A banger, I guess. I don't know why they needed specifically young boys that had living parents, but I guess they were picky. Amphictyonis, goddess of wine and friendship between countries. Interestingly, she was just a local version of Demeter. Disabeia, spirit and personification of impiety and ungodliness, another god called on by Hera to punish Zeus and Heracles. They were just called on by name and didn't actually do anything. Ekikeiria. These are starting to get harder to pronounce the further we get down. Maybe that's why they're less popular, they just chose for easier to pronounce gods. Demeter, Hera, Zeus, Poseidon, Apollo. Crazy how the most popular gods are the easiest one to pronounce. But that's it for this layer. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a gem emoji for me to eat, a like, and subscribe for even more gods. You'll definitely want to be around when the big versions come out.